Welcome back into episode 119. So in last week's video you saw the breakdown. I'm claiming that was due to alien agents. That was external factors that broke my car down for me. It didn't fail. It had a wire yanked out from underneath it. If you didn't watch that episode, go back and watch it. There's lots of running of the car and things. You see it going up down some country lanes, which is really cool. And you'll see that I reversed over a curb and it yanked out the main wire for the wiring harness that takes power to everything. So in this week's video, what I want to do is fix that, resettle the car, torque up all the bolts, and any other little jobs that I come across as they go along. Should be quite a quick video. I'm trialing some new software to make these videos, so I don't know how that's going to go. It takes a long time putting the videos together, so hopefully it goes quite smoothly. As I always say, please click the subscribe button. Still sort of 50% of you are not clicking that subscribe. You don't have to watch the videos, just click the subscribe. If you do like the videos, click the like button as well, that really helps. And if you really like the videos, or you think I've done something wrong, leave me a comment. That entertains me. I don't think that actually helps YouTube or anything like that. Anyway, let's dive into this week. As ever, thank you for watching. Let's just get in there and see how I get on. Right, first time back under the car after the breakdown, and I want to resolve this cable properly. You can see it's still hanging down pretty badly. I can actually see there, that's where it scraped on the curb. You probably can't quite see, but it's taken the powder coating off of my sway bar and roll bar. Anyway, all interesting but not relevant. Let's undo everything, if I can do it one-handed. Is that? Yeah, look, my temporary fix is already broken. So the spade connector thing is here. That'll come undone as well. That's the actual connector that's come away from the wire. Now all I did on my temporary fix was to quickly flood it with solder and just hope it bonded, but it didn't. And the main reason is because this is so dirty. So we'll take this on the bench and clean it up. Now I'm going to have to unplug the other two remaining wires that are on there. And I'll say it on the camera so I'll remember. The one with the plastic connector goes on the top, and the one with just the empty spade connector goes on the bottom. Now I can watch that back and make sure I don't get it wrong. Now that is all fine. This is the main, this is the one I actually thought it was going to be. This is the main power from the back of the from the battery. So that come out of the way. Battery is disconnected, as you can imagine. This one is the end of the wiring harness. Now, as I say, I'm going to solder that. Let's take the connector back up on the bench and give that a really good cleaning though. Right, my main bench is covered with car parts at the moment, so I can't actually get to it. But we can probably do it on here reasonably. Let's get comfy. Right. So the actual wire itself is looking good. Plenty of it. I just want to fold it around with the pliers and make sure there's enough solder in there. So this is fluxless solder, so I need to put some flux on it. We'll get the torch started. Still not quite far enough away, really. Come on. Wakey, wakey. Okay, back in position. I don't know why the torch has decided not to light, but I've got a lighter now, so we can do it manually. And let's put a little bit of cardboard just beneath something anyway, just beneath where I'm soldering, so it's not all over my garage floor. There's a container there I can just reach like that. Let's light up. Nothing ever straightforward, is it? Jesus, come on. So now it light on the bench. Now it doesn't want to light sitting here. Now we're cooking. Right. Okay. We have a flame, we have solder, we have something to solder. So let's heat it up a little. And feed the solder in. Now I'm purposely going to put a lot in there. I don't care where it goes. As long as it's marinating in solder, I'm happy. I want the whole thing just to be one big lump of solder. Let's have a look. That's not bad. I'd like to come from the other side as well. Your side. It's a bit harder, obviously, but there's enough heat that... Oh, hello, we're lit. There's enough heat that I should be able to just do it sort of backhandedly like this. Should be able to. Like that. Without burning myself or my little gloves. It's not ideal. Not ideal, but it's getting there. There we go. Right, I think that is probably good enough for what I need. A little bit. Oh no, it's okay. Let's have a good pull of that in a second and see what we've got. No, that is pretty decent actually. It's just one big lump of solder. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now we're good. Right, so what I now need to do is obviously let that cool down for a little while, but then I'd like to resolve this whole problem with the wires dangling down. I'd zip tied the main harness up, but clearly that isn't enough. And I'd noticed, you know, also over here, it just dangles down a bit further than it probably should. Right, so I think we said the plastic connector goes up the top, didn't I? So let's put the plastic connector on up the top. A little bit blind, but that's how we do this stuff. Car's up on ramps at the moment, which is a lot more secure. A lot happier with it up like that. I don't really like lifting the car at all. But on the ramps it feels very good. It's, you know, like sitting on the ground obviously. And the big bonus is I don't need to resettle the suspension quite as much. I need to do it a bit because I have to redo it a bit because obviously I lifted it up quickly on the driveway just to make it so I could drive it again to get it in the garage. But that only affected one side really, majorly. I'm sure they're both slightly off now. Okay, that's that wire on. Now the main harness goes on, and again this suffers the same problem about hanging down. So I wonder if we reroute that while I've got it loose. This is the test if I really disconnect it, pulling it with metal pliers against the chassis. That should prove it. Now I'm going to get my wire wheel and just wire that end bit as well. I think that'll be prudent. Right, well of course I ran out of memory card space, so it stopped filming somewhere along that. What I've done then, I don't know how much you saw, I have completed the soldering, hopefully that came through. I've rethreaded the wires up higher above the sway bar, and what I'm doing now is I'm reconnecting it, and I've just went and got a washer. I've also polished up the main wiring harnesses connector. I've given that a shine with my wire wheel just to make sure it's getting a really good connection. I'm going to take my glove off because I can't feel whether the nut is connected correctly. Oh, look at that, first time. There should be some award for that. Let's get it on finger tight, like that. Now I need to counter hold. Right, I found a couple of silly washing machine spanners. Oh, first guess. Yeah, there's these sort of washing machine spanners that made for sliding under the legs, I think, or under the washing machine so you can get to the legs. But that is spot on. Perfect. Okay, that's really tight, so I'm happy that that is not going to come undone. That fella here, a little buzz with the wire wheel, like that. Yeah, that's better. Right. Okay, that is up out the way at the moment. Now what I'm going to do is zip tie here, and that will hold those above the bar. Let's grab the zip tie. Right, I brought the whole bag. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what we can do. So I think across here like that would be good. It does make me wonder on these cars what happens if you drive through a deep puddle. I took my 5 Series through, it was a good foot and a bit of water, you know, it was very, very deep, and it survived. I thought it was going to cut out, but it was absolutely no problem. This would definitely not survive that. Right, there's one there, like that, and then I'll probably put, okay, that's fine. What I'd like to look at is this collection over here and see if there's something we can do. Nice random task today, just get me going. I can hear blowing from the exhaust. Now we know for sure it isn't my welds, that's the golden. So I'm just going to start the car, go underneath while it's up on the ramps here, and see if I can see where it is. If it was one of my welds, then we can fix it quickly, but we know it isn't. So it's probably just one of the gaskets, needs nipping up or whatever. Maybe it's a hole in the pipework itself, who knows. So I'm going to start up, let it warm up a little bit, make sure I'm really happy with it on the ramp, and then just slide underneath and have a look. Always put the fuel pump relay in the right slot. Is that way, please? Very smooth. I'm not sure how it comes across on the camera, but it's super smooth. And you'll notice I've got my air breather hoses out. I've got a new set that are going on there. Again, another kind donation by Adam. He seems to supply most of my car parts. Right, they seem tight now. They were a little loose. This one and this one especially were a little loose, and I could see smoke sort of coming out of here. Let's give it a little blip and see what it's doing. I know it's quite hard to tell really with the engine running and what is noise or what isn't the right noise. I'll blip the throttle a little bit just by moving the throttle body, you know, the cable, and you can have a listen. I think that's got rid of this sort of noise that I can hear constantly, which would make sense, you know. The welds are solid, of course, and it was just where I had nicked up the gasket. Let's have a little listen, mate. That's pretty good. There's none of that noise down the side now around here, which is really good. Still a bit tappety up the front. I don't know why that is. It never really eased up the other day when I took it for a drive. I don't know. It's hot at the moment, very hot, because the fans come on, so it's been sat for probably 10-15 minutes, something like that. Actually, sorry, no, that's the normal fan, is it? Not the electric fan. It's actually struggling to idle at the moment as well, so it's clearly not tuned up particularly well. I could play with that, but that's another day, I think. down here. I just quickly tweaked the mixture a little bit, and you can hear it's a lot happier at idle now. I just blip it a bit and we see what it sounds like. Or better not perfect should probably be my middle name. That is better not perfect. Let me think, I did it counterclockwise, which is reducing the mixture, isn't it? Weakening out the mixture. And the idle is almost constant now. I don't like doing too much in one go. Experience tells me, experience on this engine, if you try and do too much, next time you come back to it, it just doesn't work. So I've done, I mean, it's probably a 1/16 of a turn, something like that, really, really small, with my special homemade tool. And we'll see what it's like, just see what it's like. The exhaust blow seems to have gone now. I've tightened up that gasket. I'll keep an eye on those. It has got the split ring sort of washers that should stop them undoing. I maybe didn't tighten them up much, but also the heat cycling kind of weakens things, doesn't it? They slowly undo. Looking pretty good. I've also gone around all of the front suspension again and just checked, because I left it loose, as you remember, and just nipped them all up again. Some have come undone. The actual one, the curious one, which I probably didn't do it particularly tight to start with, is the engine shock absorber. You know, the little dampers that on these early cars. That was quite loose, so I've tightened that back up. So they're all tight but not torqued. I'll get it out again when it stops raining, which might be another weekend away by the looks of it. I'll get it out and we'll do 20 odd miles again, let it settle, and then I'll go through and torque everything up. Right, it's dry enough for us to get out on the road quickly. I hate going out with it when it's wet, especially, I won't take it out while it's raining. There's a little bit of water on the road, but I think we can go for it. So let's start, get down off these ramps. I hate coming down off ramps as well. They always sort of shoot out the front. Got any tips for that? I've been playing around with putting carpet underneath them, little strips of carpet to stop them sliding on the concrete floor, but if you've got any other ideas, let me know. But let's just start up and see. Nice easy start. I just let it sort of get in the groove. Untangle the seatbelt. Right. Now it's the first drive since it had to be towed home, so I can feel my wife's apprehension. Okay, we're in reverse. Gently come down. Oh, came down really easily. That's good. Let's just inch our way out then. So this drive is really about getting the suspension settled again. After I gave it the 20 odd miles the other day, we're back where we were because I had to raise it back up again. So I'm hoping it's a pretty straightforward drive. I've got my magical tow hook and wire rope in the car, so if anything does go wrong, we can quickly tow ourselves back home. My wife can tow me back home. Windows are still open, still don't go up. That might be the next part of the project, who knows. So just get on with it. So with the last drive, I had a number of electrical faults. I had the indicators not working, the brake lights were out. I think that's all. I'm not sure about reverse. Well, I can tell you now, the reverse lights definitely weren't working. So the indicators, I can't remember if I put it in the last video, was all down to me not plugging in the hazard warning light switch, where I've got the central console out. If you don't have the hazard warning light switch in, nothing works. It's probably not earthing or for whatever. The brake lights, I don't actually know why. I took the lenses off and discovered there was only one reversing light which had blown, so that's why the reversing lights didn't work. And the brake lights I swapped out for new bulbs, disconnected the battery, replaced a blown fuse that was up front, which is stopping the headlights from retracting, and it all seemed to work. So I don't really know exactly why that was. I don't know what blew the fuse. Who knows, it might have just been an old fuse. Anyway, I've got new fuses in there now. And the headlights popped out, so that's really good. So 3 jobs ticked off without any work. Woo. fast moving lorry. Not sure the indicators are working after all that. So back from that sort of warm-up drive, that's how the suspension's sitting now. That's that side. Spot round the other side. About the same. It's been pretty snug. I don't know if that's too low or just right. Looks good to me though. Right, a couple of things to sort out today. First, these. Again, a kind donation by Adam. I've just hung them up here and sprayed them so they come up really nice, but they're pretty good. My previous ones had snapped here, like the halfway point. These are at least intact. This one had little rips, I've super glued it. This one's had a couple of repairs, but generally they're very good condition, so they'll be going back on the car. The other thing I've got on the car now is the rear tail struts, the damper things, what they call them, what they're called, tailgate, dampers, struts, whatever. They're on the car, so now I don't need a pole to hold the boot open, which is really good. And the big thing I want to do this morning is to torque up all the bolts on the front suspension. Really happy how that's sitting now. Oh, while I look at it, one other thing I've got is these hubcap, not hubcap, air valve things, caps, what do you call them? To go on the wheels, so that'll stop air coming out of those. Yeah, I just want to torque up all the bolts on the front suspension now, get that sorted. Then it can come back off the ramps and be useful again, ready for the next part of the adventure. Perfect. So I've got my torque checklist from when I talked up everything last time. Right then, so first up on the magical list. Lower control arm front. Feels pretty tight. Three. And four. Right, so that's the two front, four front, both sides control arms done. Now we do the back at 90. It's fractionally tighter. Again, I'll just sort of inch it towards it, both sides. Oh, okay. Nope, we're just going to do it up. That's that side. No messing around. So that's the front and back lower control arm done. Upper control arm to body. So I've not undone those. Caliper bolts, bearing caps. Top shop to mount, I got there in a minute and do that. Top shop, piston tight, lower shock bolt to lower control arm. That's the big boy. 63 foot-pounds. There we go, 63. Right, I think that wraps up another week of activities. Let's just recap what we did then. So got the main wiring harness sort of soldered back up together, clip back on. I was never happy that that was actually secured on with the starter, so it's actually nice to have done the sort of counter spanner thing and sort of get that really tight, clipped it all out the way. All the front suspension now all torqued up good. Interestingly, and how many year and a half ago I suppose I rebuilt that, I periodically come back round and just check all the bolts anyway. For some reason I don't trust myself. I think I found bolts undone too many times. I never told you, but I once found the steering rack bolt completely out. It was probably after either the first or second test drive. When I went back home I was like, this steering wheel feels a bit loose, and it was pretty much ready to come out. Anyway, so that was really good. And what else we did? We've got those air tubes, new air tubes on there, new gas struts on the rear hatch. Moving on, quite pleased with that. And it was really nice to get the car out again on the road, just sort of driving around. It sounds pretty cool. And got rid of that little sort of farty noise from the exhaust. I think there's still something else going on with the exhaust, but I'll just keep an eye on it. I'm tempted to actually block the exhaust up and put pressure testers, put some compressed air through and see if I can hear where the hissing is. But that's just another thing. Anyway, and I think there's a resounding success, my new camera software. I can do little flashy, bouncy things and other artwork I can pull into the video, so it's really cool. But it just takes a lot longer. This is like a whole day of editing at the moment, which is painful. Anyway, that's enough rambling for now. As ever, thank you for watching. If you don't know, after this bit, I show you all the bits I'm missing for the car. So if anyone's got stuff locked away in their garage, let me know. I bring up the costs of the car, and then I usually just tag on the end any bonus footage of stuff that I can't be bothered to put into the video. So stay to the very end, you can have a look. Anyway, I'll see you next week.